Matisse News and Conversations.
Happy New Year! Also, I'm adding a little bit to the fun by wearing a onesie, a cow onesie. Hello and welcome back to MNC. I hope your holidays were great. It's a brand new year, 2021. Let's make it a great one. Today we have a lot of news, so stay tuned.
In the middle school, we had an anime showcase, which a lot of talented middle schoolers participated. Even I did some art.
Also, I'm really excited for next month when they plan to do the showcase fantasy drawings. I want to say thank you so much for letting the kids do this. An extra special thank you to Miss Miller and Miss Stringer.
I was so happy to see that the Lincoln Elementary School did a Valentine's Day event to be a safe alternative for the Valentine's Ball we all love so much at Lincoln School. I'm so glad they could still do something fun during this time. I am also so proud to hear about the Perkins School Drive for the Humane Society. They donated 227 items for the Humane Society on the 100th day of school. That was more than double their goal, and so generous. Arcadia Thrift Shop also has an idea to raise money for the Humane Society. Stop by sometime in March to buy a raffle ticket for this owl donated by Sharon Sloan. The residential winner of the snowman contest was the Weimer family on Pearson Avenue. Eli, almost 2.5 years old, came up with the idea of the hungry caterpillar from his favorite book. He also loves to paint, so they used spray bottles, water, and food coloring to add color. I'm so happy to see how creative you were. Congratulations.
This year it has been difficult for the students who play sports at school. We miss going to games and cheering them on.
So today we have some student athletes with us. Would you please introduce yourself and what sport you play?
Hi, I'm Michaelia, and I did modified track.
I'm Jackson. I'm a senior, and I am a varsity wrestler.
I'm Elijah. I did varsity soccer and am on varsity indoor track.
Hi, I'm Beatrice. I did varsity swimming.
Thank you for being with us today. How were sports different this year?
So how it was different was we couldn't have spectators like for most of the swim meets. There were a couple where we could because the facility was big enough, but if the facility wasn't big enough, we couldn't have spectators, so we had to do a live stream so that people could still watch. So it was kind of hard to be able to like cheer for other people because there wasn't people in the stands cheering, so we had to cheer extra loud. But that was mostly the only thing that was different. And the other thing that was different was we had to wear masks at all times unless we were in the pool. So we had to swap out masks sometimes because they would get all wet from getting in and out of the pool.
So for track, we had to always wear a mask if we were practicing, and then at meets, we could take down our mask when we were actually running, but otherwise, you had to have the mask on at all times. And they live streamed everything. There were no spectators ever. Other than that, it was pretty much the same. We had to have our own seat on the bus, but nothing else really changed.
For wrestling, it's quite different, but we can definitely still play the sport. We had to wear masks at all times of practice, which sucks, but it is what it is. Mr. Corey was nice enough to get us these really nice masks that you can kind of breathe through a lot better. So when we're doing that intense training, it's a lot easier. And for matches, there is a rule that you need to at least try and tolerate the mask, and that's different for every person. But other than that, it's still contact. So I'm happy that I get to have my season.
For soccer, we were supposed to wear masks all the time, practices and in games, depending on what team we were playing. Like the mid-lake superintendent was very strict about everyone wearing a mask, but like sometimes for home games, people would lower the mask and play with the mask down. But yeah, same thing as track for Michaelia. We had to take one seat on the bus when we rode bus, and but yeah, it was just everything with a mask. 2 spectators per player at the games, but we still had a season, so it was good.
How did the live stream process work?
So for those who aren't able to show up in person because each person is allowed 2 spectators each, they are able to go on the Section 5 website and look at the schedule for wrestling at least, and then they're able to click on the link that Section 5 provides, which will bring them to the school that you're competing at's live stream. And what's really cool about that is not only can my parents or other people watch who can't make it to the meet, my grandparents and other friends who live out of town or can't make it to the meet are able to actually view and watch that, which is really awesome in my opinion.
So how it worked for us was we were sent a link, like they would text us or like message us a link, and we would have to distribute it ourselves. But I could send it to my parents, I could send it to my aunts and uncles, I could send it to my grandparents or any other family or friends who wanted to watch it, I could send it to.
What was one of your memories or highlights from sports this year?
So I have a highlight from before meets. Though like pretty much towards the end of the season, we would do this thing called Warm and Fuzzy, which is kind of like a Secret Santa. We all like drew names, and then we would go like get things for people. Like one day we would get something that's for all of the days we would get something that's $2, and then the last day we would get something like a bigger, which would be like at least $10. So that was something that was very good to do during the season.
So my team, when we finished practice early, we would go into the small gym and play kickball. So those kickball games were pretty fun when we finished our workout.
For me, my highlight was definitely getting to have a season, because I know when they originally canceled and pushed it back, a lot of kids all over the state were pretty skeptical because wrestling is, the most contact sport that there is. And so for me being a senior, I guess it's just, I'm full of gratitude and I'm very thankful that I get to have my senior season.
One of the highlights in the soccer season was our banquet at the end of the season. It was a lot of fun because normally when we get together, we were really working on things, but it was fun just to play for fun and eat some pizza, and it was nice to be able to do that.
Are there any events coming up that you are looking forward to?
The only thing left in my track season, because we had our last meet, is our end of season team party where we hand out ribbons.
For me, it would be sectionals, because in mid-March, we're going to travel that tournament, and I'm hoping I pull a really high seed and I have a chance of doing very well in that tournament. So I can't wait for that.
I'm not going to be planning on doing any other sports since I'm very busy with musical coming up and also doing dance outside of school. So I won't be planning on doing any other sports, unfortunately.
I'm glad that you guys can participate in sports. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk with me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course.
I'm so grateful these students took their time to do this interview. I'm so glad all of the student athletes could still do their sports this year. This weekend we heard that the varsity girl and boy bowling teams both won Section 5 championships last week. This will be the girls' 5th straight sectional title and the 2nd for the boys. There were 2 fire truck parades for these champions. Congratulations! We recently learned about a new program in Newark. See you there. Today we are at Wayne County Community Schools, Newark location. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Josh Arnold. I run Wayne County Community Schools here in Newark, and this is our Resilience Center and Steady Work location.
Could you give us a tour of the place?
Sure, absolutely. So we can actually start at this wall. What I want you guys to do is remember this wall because it's going to come into play in a second. So this is our general area. We have kids come here. We have an after-school program. We also have some programs that run throughout the week. We have homework help, stuff like that. Back here is actually one of our study work locations, if you want to follow us. So we actually have some young people working right now. We're actually reclaiming pallet wood. So we actually are donating this pallet wood from a farmer in Sodus. And what we're doing, if you come over here, is we're cutting down the pieces of bare wood and we take them over here to this station. And right here is where they sand them. Once they're sanded, we actually move them down to there. That's where they stain them. And then if you look right here, this is the finished product. And these are the same boards that you've seen in the earlier part of the video that are on that wall.
Wow. What's the main goal of this program?
The main goal of the program is to take young people and give them work experience. So that way, moving forward, they have references, they have experience, punching a clock, things like that. And then also to give them skills. Like right now, they're sanding and staining wood, and that's a skill set that they can carry on moving forward.
How do kids get involved?
So right now, our referrals are mainly coming from the school district, teachers, administrators. They're referring young people to us.
And do you need any volunteers or any help from the community?
Volunteers, not really, but help from the community would be simple. If anyone has pallets laying around, they can just bring them to us, or they can call us and let us know for us to pick them up. Or if anybody wanted to donate stain or sandpaper or anything like that, they could do that as well.
Okay.
Awesome.
When did this program start?
So the program in Newark, this location started in January of this year. The study work program has been going on since I believe August. So it actually is in a few different, every school district has a study work program. This is the Newark one. They start here, this is kind of like a launching point for them, and eventually we find jobs throughout the community for them to work in at local businesses and whatnot.
What are the plans for the future?
The study work program is going to go on as long as we can facilitate it. So as we have people graduate from the program and they reach their certain hours and they find jobs of their own in the community, then we just bring in new young people.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. I'm so happy that I have this MNC family. If you want to be a part of this family, just press that follow button. Matiece signing off till next video. Have a great day.
Happy birthday to you.